which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. In the absence of the clerk, I'm going to do the roll call. How's that? I guess I'm going to get paid extra from the $200 a month. Yeah. Councilman Yingstrom? Here. Councilman Zipprich? Here. Council President Horgan? Here. Councilwoman Schwabenbauer?
Here.
Councilman Taylor?
Here.
Councilman Taylor? And Councilman Whale? Here. And myself. I'll read the Sunshine Statement. Let the minutes reflect that in compliance with Public Law 1975, Chapter 231 of the Public Cleaning Act, the notice of this meeting has been provided by notifying the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and the Star Ledger, and by placing a notice on the bulletin board and filing same with the Borough Clerk. Okay, got that out of the way. Just for purposes of agenda control and also for filler until the clerk gets back, I want to welcome everyone here, but also indicate that the agenda will be moved around somewhat differently this evening. I will be shortly entertaining a motion to move on up, to suspend the regular order of business and to move up Resolution 17-120, which is a resolution that would authorize the appointment of 2 probationary police officers. And assuming that we go through that, then I will further entertain a motion to retire to executive session for purposes of discussing these White Street RFPs as a group. We will come back downstairs from the 3rd floor, and we will thereafter deliberate on that in open sessions regarding our executive session, since that does involve borough-owned property contracts and litigation, all 3 lumped in together. So unless there's a objection to that methodology, I think that's the way we should proceed. It's the more salient thing.
Mr. Mayor, you want me to go with this civil defense?
Yes, sir.
This civil defense service? Well,
You know, while we're waiting for Pam, let's do one of the workshop items, which was very quick. Stanley, this should be a 2-second thing. There's a workshop discussion of civil defense sirens, which all of us grew up being sounded at noon on Saturdays. You didn't, but I did.
Someone.
Stanley, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, we have existing remnants of the past, 3 locations where we still have civil defense sirens that, as you say, we used to test every Saturday at 11 o'clock or noon, whatever it was. It was a form of alert and protection from a past time. One of them still has electric service to it. The other 2 up here, the meters have been removed. However, there's equipment that's rusting that may present a hazard. So I've been in touch with JCP&L. They would like authorization to abandon all the services to those 3 locations. And then there's one pole that is in a precarious situation, which I'm going to try and solicit their assistance in removing the pole, because it seems to be rocking at the base, and we want to make sure that get rid of that hazard if needed. The locations are at Branch Avenue, opposite Bergen, on Maple Avenue, opposite Leroy, and on River Road, opposite Rockmore. And just for historical sake, they used to be also the old Borough Hall, the River Street School, but when they were all renovated, they were removed from those locations. So we have a resolution on the agenda, which is Resolution 17119, which would authorize me to work with JCP now and if there are ever other agencies necessary to abandon those sirens and remove that equipment.
And just for purpose, unless there's any objection, we're going to add that to the council agenda. It's already on the council agenda. And just for purposes of dissuading the rumors that have been circulating as to the real reason for this, let me just say it is not the reason that one of those poles is outside of Council President Horgan's house, and she used to give her speeches from that pole, that porch, like Mussolini did in the 1930s. That was not the reason. It's at the request of JCP.
And actually, I had never even noticed it until a friend was visiting and asked me what it was.
Okay.
But it's going to fall on my house at night.
Is there a motion to suspend the regular order of business? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, is there a motion to move up resolution 17-120? Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 120 is a resolution that's before the council. It's a resolution appointing probationary police officers at the recommendation of the police committee as well as the recommendation of the command of the police department. And the resolution would appoint two existing officers in the department, newly appointed Patrolman Michael A. Barron and Darren M. McConnell, effective May 25, 2017. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Commissioner Whalen, would you like to articulate the two candidates a little bit in terms of brief bio?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and good evening, everybody. So tonight we have two elevations that the Mayor spoke about, from specials to patrolmen, and two retirements we had in February, Lieutenant Ramos and Captain McDonough. It's no secret that being the police commissioner has been one of my greatest duties as councilman, so it's an honor to be part of this here tonight. Tonight is not only a special moment in the night for two men or two families, but a special opportunity for the Red Bank community to honor and further welcome Michael Barron and Darren McConnell. So I just want to read a little bit about the backgrounds. I'm going to call you both up and do this one. Michael Barron. Michael is a graduate of Rumson Fairhaven High School and holds a bachelor's degree from Long Island University. He began his law enforcement career in Red Bank as a Class 1 summer special. He went on to graduate from the Ocean County Police Academy and returned to Red Bank as a Class 2 special in August of 2015, where he worked with our traffic safety unit. Michael is also a certified EMT and resides in Rumson. Darren McConnell. Darren is a graduate of Christian Brothers Academy and holds a bachelor's degree in finance from Rutgers Business School. Darren began his law enforcement career as a Class 2 special officer in Seabright after graduating from the Monmouth County Police Academy, and then came to Red Bank in August 2015, where he's worked with the traffic safety unit. Darren is also a certified EMT and captain of the Rumson First Aid Squad. He recently moved to Red Bank. Obviously also, Chief McConnell is Darren's father, and I know it's a great honor for you to be here tonight. And like I've said before, leadership starts at the top, and I know you've been not only an amazing mentor to Darren, but to the entire department. So we welcome both of you, and as you embark on your further journey in the Red Bank Police Department, we wish you nothing but safety and success, and know that you always have friends here on the governing body, and we're here for wherever you need. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Michael, right? Come on. We're going to do one at a time, right? Bruce? This is correct. Chief? Oh, God. The real boss is here. Chief Kirschenbaum. I made the mistake of when I saw Eddie in there, and Bruce said, well, you know Eddie Kirschenbaum, former Chief Kirschenbaum in a number of places, but also Monmouth County detectives. And I made the mistake of saying, I remember Eddie Kirschenbaum when he and I both had hair, and he goes, we never had hair. So you're right. Sure.
Yes.
All right, raise your right hand, please. Please repeat after me. I, Michael Barron,
I, Michael Barron,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and comply
that I will support and comply
with the Constitution of the United States of America,
with the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and the laws of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution and laws of the State of New Jersey,
the Charter laws and ordinances of the Borough of Red Bank,
the charter laws of the Borough Ordinance of Red Bank,
the rules and regulations of the Red Bank Police Department,
the rules and regulations of the Red Bank Police Department,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of my office as officer
of my office of officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Yep. Ready for this too or not?
Yes, sir.
Still planning for this before, weren't you? All right. I, Darren McConnell,
I, Darren McCall,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and comply
that I will support and comply
with the Constitution of the United States of America,
with the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution and laws of the State of New Jersey,
the Charter laws and ordinances of the Borough of Red Bank,
the charter laws and ordinances of the Borough of Red Bank,
the rules and regulations of the Red Bank Police Department,
the rules and regulations of the Red Bank Police Department,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and that I will faithfully discharge
faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as an officer of the Red Bank Police Department
as an officer of the Red Bank Police Department
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, officer. Again, I was jesting earlier with my friend Eddie Kirschenbaum, but his presence here this evening is deeply appreciated by all of us who have known each other for a long time. And I know I don't speak out of turn by saying that in his many years with the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office, as well as his liaison with our department from other departments, everyone in this county, indeed in the state, has recognized that our men and our women, and now I should also say even our dogs, are the best in the field. And they are the best in the field because not only do they, like all police officers in the state of New Jersey, exercise their statutory duties with great discretion as well as with great diligence and with duty, but they also have a, what I tend to refer to as a sense of not just pride in their job, but respect and also cooperation with our residents. All of our residents, of whatever tradition they may come from, look upon our officers as partners with them, partners with our residents in making our community the best. The two of you who are joining the force this evening become part of that tradition. You become part of that wonderful sense not only of esprit de corps, but service to others. And we're all proud of you. We all, as Commissioner Whalen said, wish you the best in your professional duties, but also in wishing you health and also safety as you protect others. We saw last night how people proceeding in normal daily functions were met with extraordinary tragedy without notice. And although we don't wish that on anybody, but we know that you are, each man and woman that's part of our force and our partners in the county and in the state, are the first line of defense for that. And we are extraordinarily indebted to all of you. You have our support and you have our appreciation. So welcome on board and thank you for your service. Anyone else on the days?
I just want to add my congratulations. Thank you so much. I wish you well. You both look so young.
They are.
And I look so old, I know.
But I actually want to congratulate both of you and welcome you to the Red Bank family. As the Commissioner and the Mayor said, we wish you good health and an awful lot of safety as you undertake your roles as officers. So thank you both.
And real quick, just and thank you to the rest of the department, the patrolmen, the sergeants, the captains that are here, the Detective Bureau, everybody showing camaraderie and brotherly love and coming out to support Bureau, and it obviously shows the type of commitment we have in Red Bank, and we're grateful to have everyone. And have a nice night. Thanks for coming.
Chief or Captain, any comments, or either one of you?
I'll be brief as always, don't worry. I just want to thank the Mayor and Council for making this happen tonight and moving this forward. I know it's tough in these fiscal times to do this, to keep our department full strength. The CFO, the Administrator, and I worked very closely with the Finance Committee to make this happen in a way that was workable for everybody. But as the Mayor alluded to twice, it's not getting any easier to do this job. So we appreciate your understanding of keeping us in close staff.
Okay, is there a motion by the council to adjourn to executive session for purposes of discussing the White Street RFP and then returning after our executive session?
Also the litigation.
And litigation, yes. There's a motion, is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, what I just did is I asked the council to go upstairs to the third floor to talk about a sensitive issue that involves property issues as well as litigation. We will not be making any decisions up there, but for purposes of confidentiality as well as the fluidity of discussions, it is important that all members of the council on sensitive contractual issues know what their feelings are. We will be coming back downstairs, hopefully in about 15 minutes or less, with reconvening the council at that time. You're welcome to stay in the room for purposes of convenience of those who want to remain for the rest of the meeting. We will be leaving the room instead of the other way around. For purposes of the men and women of our police department who may want to come back or may want to stay, but I think you probably want to celebrate. So you certainly do not feel affronted if you want to do that, and wish you the best. Motion? Second? Second. All in favor? Okay, is there a motion to resume the regular meeting? It's now 7:30. Roll call, please.
Councilman Yangstrom?
Here.
Councilman Zickrich?
Here.
Councilwoman Morgan? Here. Councilwoman Schwabenbauer? Here. Councilman Taylor?
Here.
Councilman Will?
Here.
Okay, we're all still here. We discussed litigation as well as contractual issues in public property. No action was taken. We are now back in the council meeting, and the second item on the workshop is the White Street RFPs. Councilman Whale.
Sorry, Mayor. So we decided that we're going to release the RFPs to the public after tonight's meeting. So they'll be on the website, I believe, tomorrow morning. You said, remember, it's tonight? Whenever you can.
I think Stanley Gibbons is the IT director, so I think he's going to do it tomorrow.
Okay, and then our plan is to at the next council meeting, we're going to have a light agenda, and then following the next council meeting, we're going to have a presentation by the developers that the public can come and listen to. There'll be no public comment, but it's going to be an all-night event. We're going to have each developer come and be able to present their vision and their project to the public, and the parking committee will be hosting that directly after the next council meeting.
So the public is not confused. There will be a regular council meeting at the next council meeting. At the conclusion of the council meeting, the council will adjourn. However, immediately following the council meeting, the parking committee will hold an extraordinary plenary session at which Anybody who has submitted RFPs is invited to make a presentation for a limited period of time, and the committee will then act accordingly after that. But the council will not be making any decisions that night because the council meeting will be ended, and then we will consider whatever the deliberations of the committee are at the following. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Just wanted to-
Right, Dave, that will open everything up to the public. It will enable all of the developers to come in and present so that we have a completely transparent explanation from each one of the folks who responded to the RFPs.
And thanks, Councilman Zipperich. And again, that was our entire intent from the beginning, but given obviously the pending litigation, there were obviously obstacles in getting to the public, but we listened to our council. We've met a few times, and they've advised us that now we are ready, that we can release it to the public, and we look forward to public input, public discussion, and developers that come in and share their vision and how we go and improve Red Bank together.
Okay, any other comments? Any other comments? If not, moving on to the approval of minutes for May 10th, 2017. Motion. Second. All in favor? Report of Mayor and Council Committee members. Linda?
The Finance Committee met last week to review a presentation from our healthcare broker. We are going to meet next week as well at a follow-up meeting. That's pretty much it. Thanks.
Thank you. Mark?
Thanks, Mayor. The Environmental Commission met last night. Over the weekend, on Sunday, we hosted our first ever electric car day here at the Borough Hall facilities. We had several participants from both the business community and the resident owner community. Councilman Zipperich was there with his vehicle, as well as 6 other owners who have their own electric vehicles, and then we had representatives from both Circle BMW and George Wall Fuller who brought some of their electric vehicle models. This has inspired some conversations about additional parking spaces for electric vehicles and charging stations accordingly. I'm hoping to present something to the parking committee to address that from the Environmental Commission, just so we can kind of work in tandem with this, because obviously there's a demand for it, and we only have one charging station, and unfortunately that can be monopolized, and so we need to expand our footprint a little bit. And frankly, there's some good ways we can hopefully find some grant money, some additional funding sources to expand that operation here in the borough. As far as code, I want to recognize Tommy Walsh. He received a commendation notice from a realtor that he had some dealings with, handling some borough business, and they wrote a very nice letter commending him for his professionalism and just his demeanor and how he handled the situation. So I want to notice public on his good efforts. Also, at a recent council meeting, we passed the vacant and abandoned property ordinance. That is in effect, and I believe by June 1st, we will have a link onto the borough website that you'll be able to follow up. You can get a copy of the registration form, and you'll also be able to submit, residents will be able to submit comments or identify properties that may fall under the purview of that ordinance. That's all I have.
Thank you. Michael, do you have anything else for tonight?
Not really, just I just want to say one brief sentence is that obviously our entire, what we're trying to do is be transparent by holding these meetings, and I just want to address the Red Bank Business Alliance, Red Bank River Center, obviously have members here tonight. You guys are a part of the complete process, and the process is where it starts now. Obviously, I know we received these RFPs a few weeks ago, but like you've said multiple times, because of the litigation, we were not able to bring anyone else in. So this is an exciting time for Red Bank, the governing body, to bring these proposals to the public. And I just want the business community that is represented here, both bodies, to know you are 100% a partner, and we welcome you guys have a seat at the table, and you will be a part of this every step of the way. And it begins after tonight. So thank you for your support, thank you for your patience, and it's an exciting time. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to report that the library held its 80th anniversary on Saturday. It was very well attended. We had our 11th district assembly people there. We had freeholder John Curley, the entire council, the mayor and council, and other dignitaries. The history room was opened, and the winners of the bookmark contest were announced. And you can get your free bookmarks in the library. They're given out. The children really did a great job in their drawings and that. And it was just a great day for all. There were walking tours. I think, Barbara, did you lead one of them?
I assisted Kathy.
You
I
assisted.
assisted Kathy Luco Morgan.
Oh, okay, all right.
She had the
So
facts
it
and I
was-
had the gossip.
Okay, so, okay. And there were 2 walking tours that day as well, and they were well attended, even though it did rain. I think the rain stopped during the tours. No. Anyway, the show must go on, and that's what they did. And also Suzanne was there to record everything as well. Thank you, Suzanne. And it was a good day. So go visit your library. It is a great place.
Thank you. Ed?
Thanks, Mayor. I do want to wish the library a happy anniversary. It was a great event. And I just wanted to add one thing to Kathy's commentary, was that I was delighted to see our Chairman Emeritus, George Bowden, invited to cut the ribbon reopening the history room. George was very excited. He's approaching his 90th birthday, which he's also very excited about. But it was great to have him with us on that day. On Tuesday, I attended Representative's executive meeting where we discussed the business community's request for input to the parking solution, which Councilman Whalen just mentioned. As he said, we will include you in a parking solution. And River Center also held its second quarterly meeting on Wednesday, May 17th at Riverview Hospital. The chairman and executive director reported that during the first quarter, 11 new businesses have signed leases to open here in Red Bank. 4 new businesses did open in the first quarter, and 3 businesses closed. The current vacancy rate in the downtown was reported at 6.34%, which is pretty darn good at this point. They've also signed with a new PR firm to promote the business district and, as well as the visitor center. And I wanted to take another moment to congratulate the Environmental Commission on that really successful car show that Councilman Taylor mentioned. It was a great event. I was proud to participate as an EV owner. The parking lot here at Borough Hall was crowded with Teslas, Mercedes, BMWs, Cadillac, Nissan, Fords, and I really wanted to give a special shout out to the 3 sponsors, which were Circle, BMW, ChargePoint, and George Worrell Ford. I don't have trouble with that one. And I especially wanted to thank all of the Environmental Commission members who volunteered. I thought Frank and his team did a great job. Lastly, it's swimming season as Memorial Day weekend approaches. Make sure you keep our younger folks safe. Never let them go poolside, lakeside, or beachside. Unsupervised drowning can happen in a matter of a couple of minutes. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Mayor. The Spring Art Show, which was supposed to be last Saturday, was canceled due to rain. The art show will be rescheduled and will most likely be at the Elks Lodge. We're awaiting confirmation before announcing the actual date. More than 150 paintings were turned in from grades K through 12. So we're excited to have the event and thankful for all the schools. The Memorial Day observance will be this Monday, May 29th. The ceremony will begin at 11 a.m. at 51 Monmouth Street with the Elks Lodge as an indoor location if it starts to rain. A rain decision will be made by 9:45. We have speakers, singers, scouts, and student choirs all performing. A local veteran and Red Bank Elk Sergeant Scott Lewis is our keynote speaker. And for our summer series, they're underway. Fitness in the Park is already underway. Those are Wednesday night at 6. Movies and jazz in the park will begin in July on Tuesdays and Thursdays, except there'll be no movie on July 4th. And also, please call Parks and Rec and Charlie for info on Memorial Day and any other events that I just mentioned. Thank you.
Eric, the only thing I'd like to add to your schedule on Memorial Day is that although the memorial service is at 11, we will have a free Memorial Day service at 10 a.m. here at Borough Hall. That is the traditional fire department memorial service for fire department, first aid responders, and members of the emergency services. Of course, the public is invited to attend. That's at 10 o'clock here at Borough Hall. And then we'll go to the regular service at 11. No mayoral appointments tonight, approval of the minutes, well, we already did that. Communications and petitions, there are none. Public, are there any members of the public that have any comments with respect to any ordinances or resolutions that are on this evening's consideration? Yes, sir, yes, use the microphone, state your name and your address, so we have it for the record.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. From time to time over the past few years, I've been here whenever there was discussions of redevelopment zones or rehabilitation zones. I was very active against eminent domain abuse in Long Branch with the Metosa.
Yeah, we're familiar with it.
Okay, on the resolution concerning the rehabilitation zone, at what point, Councilman Whalen, will the public be able to ask questions? At the next council meeting, you stated at the conclusion, you will have...
You're mentioning two different things.
Yeah.
Councilman Whalen did not address any issues concerning any rehabilitation zone. His comments were directed at the RFPs, which is only the garage proposal.
That's only the garage.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Can you please explain 107 then, the portion of the borough in need of rehabilitation?
That is a resolution that carries a study, it refers a study for that area in need of rehabilitation to the planning board. The planning board will have public hearings, and if it decides to make recommendations to the council, they'll refer it back to the council, at which point the council will have public hearings.
Okay. Upon approval this evening by the council, how long does the planning board have on this matter?
Presumably, as long as the hearings are continued, the planning board can continue the hearings for as long as it deems necessary. I mean, there's no time frame.
There is no time frame.
No, I mean, again, depending on how many people want to be heard on it, the planning board will get its instructions, will have to hold public hearings under the statute, but the hearings can't be cut off at any given time because it's an ongoing public debate. When the planning board feels that it has enough information, it's done this procedure before, then it would refer it back to the council with a recommendation. Once the council gets the recommendation, the council would have to set it down for a hearing, a public hearing here at the council level. And then if an ordinance is adopted, then of course that's a separate hearing altogether.
The planning board does take public input though.
Oh, absolutely, sir.
Okay. And this includes White Street? This proposed?
No, it does not.
Doesn't compare anything on White Street at all?
No, because that was part of an earlier designation last year. That is the White Street parking garage proposal that ultimately led to the RFPs, which Councilman Whalen spoke about, but that was last year.
Okay.
So this does not include the White Street area that is designated as White Street parking garage. It does include areas of Front Street that go up to White Street, but does not include the borough properties on White Street.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. Just two words of caution on this with the rehabilitation. The higher road with the rehabilitation zones is there's no eminent domain use.
That is correct. There is no eminent domain that can be used in a rehabilitation zone versus an area in need of redevelopment, yes.
Okay, but the other side of it, there are short-term tax abatements.
I'm sorry?
There are short-term tax abatements in a rehabilitation zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are, but they're limited to 5 years, and again, that would be up to the discretion of the council if it deems it necessary or prudent or advisable. And as you know, because you're an activist in this, and you've certainly done a lot of research in Long Branch, you're well aware that there's even statutory legislation that is pending in Trenton that would further limit the right of municipalities to do certain types of pilot programs.
Thank you very much.
That's winding its way through the legislature. So the first step is to let the planning board have hearings to see whether or not it's an appropriate area or not. Then they have to refer it back to us. But in that deliberative process, hearings will be held there. Hearings will be then held here if the recommendation is that we consider it. And the pilot issue is an issue that is certainly not clarified at this point because we have no projects before it. But pilots would have to be approved on an individual project basis if it in fact goes to that point. So it can't be a blanket pilot.
Okay. No, I appreciate that explanation. I appreciate the mayor being on top of this. Senator Sweeney, Assemblyman Chiarabella, they both have bills in the, proposed bills in the hoppers to come through on this. As a resident of Long Branch, just let me inform you, a couple of weeks ago, the Asbury Park Press ran $1 billion worth of development in Long Branch, okay? What they didn't tell you was the other side of the story with the pilots and the abatements. That $1 billion was built on tax abatements and pilots, causing a destabilized tax base in Long Branch. All right? I was here before on other matters. I just keep pushing out the amber caution lights on the pilots and the abatements. Thank you for your
And
explanation.
again, I recognize your interest in this, and I also recognize you've done a lot of work on it.
Yeah,
And
but
we respect your comments, but yeah, we have the same concerns, and again, the legislature has the same concerns on pilots.
right. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anybody else? If not, move. Yes, Mr. Bowers.
The resolution on the rehabilitation, I've been here last council meeting. I hope it passes tonight. It affords Red Bank some growth, not crazy growth. And again, the council, the planning board, and the council can check it in, can check anything and stop it. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Michael Geegan, 156 West Front Street. I've been a resident and business owner in town for about 15 years, and from about Brothers Pizza East until the parking lot across from Pazzo, that whole community has become really good friends, business owners, and we are all in favor of the rehabilitation and the idea of gentrifying that area. There's so much property, there's so much great land in there where people can get off the train and see something new, something exciting, places to eat, places to shop. And I've seen a lot of change in that neighborhood over the last 15 years, and I would love to see, as would my neighbors, and kind of a bit of a social assemblage that we have. We'd love to see that area move forward. Good for everybody.
Thank you for your comments, but one of the things that's not part of this resolution, but the council has been privy to some of my thoughts on if it decides to move forward. One of the things I'm very seriously considering is asking council to adopt a procedure whereby the borough would be retaining, at no cost to the taxpayers, hopefully some pretty forward-looking architectural firms to assist any prospective applicants on these properties in terms of a schematic, visual projection of what we'd like to see in what is hopefully going to be a new area of life, so that nothing is cookie cutter developments, but will hopefully have a vision with the help of architects. We don't have that. We've never had that. And the way to save that expense for borough taxpayers is to build it into an escrow fund for prospective applicants so they can have some benefit and assistance. So hopefully at the next council meeting, or a further council meeting, we'll be able to take action on that. And I think it's a positive step because we've really got to start thinking outside the box in terms of how we make competitive.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, sir.
How's it going? Lee Walker, 1 Allen. Speaking on behalf, again, of the rehabilitation zone, so when this would potentially go to planning, would these guidelines, which I think everyone would think would be favorable towards guidelines for future development, what developers can do, what developers can't do, would the feedback from the planning board be like the initial foundation for what, I guess?
The planning board hopefully will have guidance from its planner, will have guidance from its other professionals, our engineer, from our in-house planner, from the public. And as a result of those comments, hopefully the planning board will make some recommendations, because that's part of the planning board function, to have the council consider some design and zoning characteristics. But I also want to include a visual characteristic in terms of what which is a primary area of the entrance. It's the entrance way to Red Bank in so many different ways, and it's an untapped potential. So those things will be included in the discussions, the public hearings at the planning board, and then at the council.
As like a distinctly designated region of town, would it encompass what's already kind of been, I guess it's a grandfathered, it's like the other districts?
Well, first of all, good question. Whatever's grandfathered in is grandfathered in. I mean, we can't tell somebody you can't do and operate whatever they have. If somebody has a two-family home, that remains. If that person wants to sell that two-family home and somebody else wants to come in, you still have some guidelines as to what to do.
No.
But, you know, those are standard, you know, land use considerations, that whatever runs with the land, even though it might change future development of what's there. You have to respect that. And that's what the other gentleman was talking about in terms of eminent domain. This is not a procedure where we can force people to do things. It's only a rehabilitation. If you an area need a redevelopment, that's a different story. That's not the way we go.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, any other comments? You've got motion. So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. All right. First is ordinance 2017-17. On first reading, it's an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 680 with respect to stop sign intersections, with respect to an area that had been overlooked for a stop sign, which is on Drummond Place, between Drummond Place and the municipal parking lot at the Wright Street parking lot, because nobody knows which side is supposed to stop. So, motion to introduce? So moved. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Public hearing then? Public hearing June 14, 6:30 p.m. For resolutions, resolution 17107, referring to the planning board, a proposed resolution determining a portion of the borough in need of rehabilitation, and that resolution contains a map that is attached to it, and for purpose of the public, the map is either provided or...
It's on the website.
It's on the website. Motion to... Motion. So moved. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Matters referred to the planning board. Thank you. Resolution 112, a resolution requiring all borough employees to be compensated by direct deposit commencing July 1, 2017 on the recommendation of the CFO. Motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Mayor, I have a question on that one.
Okay.
Does that require each one of the borough employees to have a bank account?
It does not.
So in the event that an employee does not have a bank account and normally, uses a check cashing service,
Right. So
how would that be remediated?
Right. So they have contingencies for that. So the way this works is if employees don't have bank accounts, there's essentially it's like a debit card that they give them, which is so the person would have the debit card, and the debit card is automatically loaded on the payday, so that they have it and then it works, and they don't have to go to a bank and get it cashed or anything. And this is helpful on, for example, snow days when we can't get the mail delivered on time and things of that nature. The card is automatically activated, so it works like a bank account, but it's all on the card.
Okay.
How
Go ahead.
how about the seasonal employees, like our summer interns, or not even interns, our summer employees for Parks and Rec that are 15 to 17, they may not have bank accounts. Are they exempt from this, or maybe their parents want to see their checks or something, rather than have their debit card?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. Eugenia, do we know that?
No, it's mandatory for everyone. And so some of the summer employees, they have savings account and they can choose, the savings account to do that, but also with this for
That's okay, debit card.
Yeah, no, I mean, some of their parents may want to know what they're making and not have access to an ATM right away when you're 15
They
years
still
old.
get based up, those, it's, just like.
So we'll still get pay stubs the way we do it from direct deposit, so their parents can see that.
Did your parents want to see your paycheck?
I think they still do.
They just want to make sure you're getting
But my only question, Eugenia can answer it. I mean, like I think Ed brought up a good point about the cash, the check cashing places. Do they charge a pretty high percentage? That's why I guess they're business, because they must make so. Will there be no fee? Because maybe that might be actually the good thing, they don't have to give up a certain amount of percentage points of their paycheck because they already have it loaded into an account that they can withdraw from, so maybe that's kind of a good, yeah, if they don't pay it, but 2%. Maybe that's.
So in the event of, and I guess this should really be asked of Eugene, if in the event of a loss of a debit card, is it easily replaced?
Just like any other debit card that you would have with your bank account, they would be replacing that.
All right, and then if is it the same debit card on each payroll cycle?
They keep the card, and the card gets loaded, just like you have your checking account or savings account, and the direct deposit goes into your checking account or savings account. In this case, for those that choose the debit card, then the debit card will be loaded.
All right, so if they have a remainder on their debit card, it's just
right there.
It's going to be added to. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
In fact, this is a system that the county uses, and they have a huge amount of part-time people, parks people, summer people, and they've been doing this for about 10 years.
The local finance notice for the mandatory direct deposit in 2014, and a lot of municipalities included that back then.
What prompted this is we actually had our payroll people actually hired a national delivery firm instead of the normal courier to deliver checks, and the delivery firm was late, and people were looking for their checks and they didn't come. So, and then within 3 hours, we actually had they sent somebody by hand duplicate checks during the snowstorm, and we ended up with 2 sets of checks finally. But the point is, people were counting on that money being there that morning, and it wasn't. And this way, that card, that was the debit card, be populated midnight, that night before, and their card will have the money on it, and then you use it like that.
All right, any other thing? All right, I think we already voted on this, didn't we?
Yes.
Okay. 17-115, a resolution authorizing additional design work for primary school emergency access roadway project pursuant to recommendations of the engineer. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 17-116, authorizing the borough engineer to prepare design plans and advertise bids in regard to repair Sewer Street retaining wall. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution 17-117, authorizing the release of performance guarantees for Butch's Car Wash. Motion. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution 17-118, authorizing tax credits and refunds totaling $3,892.39 due to a judgment of the tax court. Motion.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution 17-119, authorizing abandonment of obsolete civil defense sirens and associated poles and equipment. Motion.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution 17-121, granting Klein Developers East Incorporated a request to conduct boring and install a temporary monitoring device on behalf of ExxonMobil in the roadway public adjacent to 330 Shrewsbury Avenue and Sunset Avenue. Motion. Second.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution 17-123, a resolution 123 is a resolution of the Borough of Red Bank authorizing the release of the developer's responses to request for proposals for the redevelopment of the White Street Municipal Parking Lot located at 7579 White Street, provided that the confidential financial data is redacted therefrom. This is the subject of our workshop. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Proclamations, there is only one. Whereas every day 91 Americans are killed by gun violence, and there are countless other injuries, and whereas Americans are 25 times more likely to be murdered with guns than people in other developed countries. And whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is the mayor's highest responsibility, and whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from dangerous people. And whereas June 2nd, 2017 would have been the 20th birthday of Hadia Pendleton, a teenager who marched in President Obama's second inaugural parade and was tragically shot and killed just a few weeks later. And whereas to honor Hadia and all Americans, whose lives are cut short by gun accidents and or violence, and those who are survivors were injured, and those who are survivors were injured by gunshot. June 2nd, 2017 was designated the 3rd Annual National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And whereas the idea was inspired by a group of Adia's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange, they chose orange because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters when out in the woods, and orange is a color that symbolizes human life. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and to encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe, now therefore we proclaim that I was called out of the Borough of Red Bank. We hereby proclaim that Friday, June 2nd is National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the Borough of Red Bank. And Resolution 17-122, 24? No, 22. Oh, okay. All right, so 17-122 was the executive session. Now it's 17-124. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council the bills to be paid on the attached check registry totaling $5,659,757.52. Motion?
So
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any old business? Any new business? Audience? Mr. Colmore?
Carl Colmorgan, 67 Oakland Street. It's become that time of the year, the elections are coming, and I know the borough has an ordinance before the floodgates any more than it already is. I noticed a political sign in our beautiful Veterans Park here, which I believe was off limits. And I don't know if others are going to appear, but we need to dip it in the bud, please.
Thank you, Carl. I'm sure the Director of Public Works will get that removed first thing tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. Mayor Mena, on that map for the proposed rehabilitation zone, I see White Street in the opaque colored legend. They have it between English Plaza and Monmouth Street. There's south of Monmouth County I-10. It does include White Street. Or am I reading it wrong? But I brought it up, and there it is.
If that handout was adjusted.
The handout's an error.
White, you're talking about the White Street lot, right?
Yes, and actually, he's correct. When you look at the...
It's not supposed to be there.
That section of White Street should have been carved out.
Yeah, that should be out. That's not, because it's already there. That's already been designated. So I do apologize when Mr. Carter recirculated this. This was probably the earlier version of it. What you see on White Street from Maple Avenue to English Plaza, which is the large oblong lot, that should be white instead of pink.
It should be white.
Yes.
And south of White Street should be white as well.
South of White Street.
Yes, because that's an opaque color as well. Both north and south of White Street is opaque color on the map. All right, well.
The properties fronting on Monmouth Street were included, they should have been included there.
No,
East of
north of White Street is included between English Plaza and Front Street.
That's included.
That is included. What is excluded is the borough property, which is what I said, which is the apartment.
All right, thank you for the clarification. I knew I saw.
Sorry about that.
I knew I saw White Street.
Yeah, the other map that I saw didn't have it. This was the previous map that was supposed to be down.
All right, thank you. All right, the governing body, the mayor, I'm going to make a statement and I'll be brief. We're aware that Mr. Sickle, the administrator, is going to be resigning at the end of the year. Retiring, okay, excuse me. We got word that Adam Schneider, the mayor of Long Branch, has put an application in for his position.
I appreciate the sense of humor, but untrue. I appreciate your sense of humor, and I think I would have been the second person to know that. And I'll tell you why, because Mayor Schneider and I went to high school together. We were at Red Bank Regional High School. He was a graduate of Regional High School the same year as I was. And I'm proud to say he was also a classmate of mine at GW when I was an undergrad many years ago. So I think he would have called me if he was interested. Untrue.
All right, well,
A lot of rumors out there.
well, we heard it wasn't true in Bradley Beach, and the mayor said it was. And he was refused in Bradley Beach for the administrator's job. He applied in Ocean Township. He's been refused there as well. And our sources seem to be pretty well on track.
Maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I think the issues facing Red Bank in the future is that whenever we get to that Rubicon, we are looking for somebody who's a professional, probably established credentials in the field, who is then actually credentials in the area of public administration, as a professional.
Well,
we need that.
Yeah, no offense, but I didn't think an attorney would be, they usually don't make very good borough administrators. Okay?
I'm not going to dignify their comment because I can't say that.
No, they don't, but
all I can say is that Mayor Schneider has not applied to be the borough administrator of Red Bank, and I don't believe he has any intention to do so.
well, he's been actively seeking appointment as an administrator. One of the reasons that's prompted me to be here this evening with your rehabilitation zones, okay? The use of these zones, okay, whether redevelopment or rehabilitation, the history of Long Branch has not been good. And I was here to caution the governing body, again with amber lights. You're a class above in Red Bank. You didn't have to go down the road of using eminent domain, all right?
And we never have.
Yes, and putting it discreetly, Long Branch is a very severe pay-to-play government, okay? I'm just giving caution signs here, okay? If in the event the application does come across the desk, I want the council to be aware, we will be back here, okay? We will be back here to put up more cautionary amber lights as to any future consideration of Adam Schneider for administrator.
I appreciate your visit, but I don't think your visit will be triggered by an application by Mayor Schneider, whom I respect.
Well, you do it, all right.
No, he's a friend. Yeah.
What is that? Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Maybe to swell other rumors that may be out there? I do not know Vladimir Putin.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council.
Good afternoon.
P.O. Box 274, E65 Sugar. Mr. Mayor, I want to thank y'all for coming out.
Thank you for hosting.
Appreciate it. We're looking forward for another update on it. We get in contact on that. Jimmy had to leave, him and his sister, and he just told me to bring it out to your attention. He said the guys are riding around doing nothing. Catch bases are full, and the sweeper, he don't see the sweeper. He had to leave, but he told me to bring it to your attention. He don't see the sweeper as much as he should, but he see the guys riding around a lot in the vehicles not doing nothing. So we're going backwards again with this same issue we've been dealing with for years and years. And I think it's time for this to be addressed. And we're paying these guys to do their job, and we're riding around in these trucks not doing the job. Came through Ted Falls today, and they over there on Cherry Street, by Reverend Perkins Church, they're cutting the whole lot over there. They got lawnmowers and everything. You can't see why we can't go back buying these lawnmowers and the borough doing it. They give these guys something to do. It's too much riding around in these vehicles. They're brand new trucks. And I think if you buy brand new trucks, they should be used for the public safety. You be working in this town. It's too much riding around. And this is simple as you, the borough administrator. Can't be going pat somebody on the shoulder. That's over with. This is a new thing now. We need to look into that. Find out why these guys riding around in these trucks all over town and nothing on it. It was brought up a couple weeks ago. You know about it. I don't want to bring it up, it was brought up at the meeting. Nothing being done about it. It's your job as a borough administrator to look into this. If you don't have time, give it to somebody else to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, seeing no one else, is there a motion to close the meeting? Into recess? Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you for coming.